the Golden Promise. In the quiet town of West Haven, a petty thief named Lucas lived a simple life. Lucas wasn't greedy. He only stole enough to survive. He believed that as long as he avoided hurting people and didn't take anything too valuable, his actions weren't truly wrong. One evening, while wandering through a dusty old mansion on the outskirts of town, Lucas came across a peculiar bronze lamp. Its antique design and intricate carvings hinted at its value. With a smirk, Lucas tucked it under his arm, thinking it would fetch a decent price. The next morning, Lucas brought the lamp to Mr. Vernon, a wealthy antique dealer with a sharp eye for rare items. "Not bad," Vernon said, inspecting the lamp. "It's old, but it's bronze, so it's not worth much." Lucas had no idea he was being tricked. Vernon paid him a small sum, enough to keep him satisfied, and Lucas left the store feeling accomplished. From that day, Lucas began bringing Vernon more items he stole from abandoned houses and estates. Vernon, impressed by the rarity of the objects Lucas brought in, kept paying him modest amounts, knowing full well the true value of these treasures. Over time, Vernon grew fond of Lucas and decided to show him his warehouse, a sprawling collection of antiques stored in secrecy. Lucas stood in awe as he gazed at the vast piles of bronze sculptures, ancient pottery, and dusty heirlooms. "This is amazing," Lucas murmured, his eyes lingering on a pile of neglected sculptures. Among them, he spotted a bronze figure of a woman, a sculpture so lifelike that it seemed almost magical. That night, Lucas couldn't stop thinking about the sculpture. Though he knew Vernon trusted him, the temptation to take it was overwhelming. "I'll just take it," Lucas told himself. "He won't even notice it's missing." Under the cover of darkness, Lucas snuck into the warehouse and stole the bronze sculpture. As he placed it in his small home, he couldn't help but feel a pang of guilt. Vernon had been fair and generous with him, and Lucas had repaid him with betrayal. The next morning, guilt consumed Lucas. Unable to bear it, he decided to return the sculpture and confess to Vernon. Lucas placed the sculpture on the counter and looked down in guilt. He couldn't utter a single word. Vernon, sensing something was off, quietly took the sculpture into his office and began inspecting it. After a while, Vernon returned, looking both surprised and pleased. "Lucas," he said, "you've brought me an incredible piece. Do you know what this is?" Lucas shook his head nervously. "It's gold," Vernon said with a smile. "Solid gold, hidden under all that dirt and grime." Lucas was stunned. He had no idea the old sculpture was worth so much. "I'll pay you fairly for this," Vernon added, handing Lucas a hefty sum of cash. Lucas felt a wave of relief and gratitude. For the first time, he realized how close he had come to ruining his life with his dishonest ways. With the money in his hands and a clear conscience, he made a decision. He would never steal again. With the money he received, Lucas decided to leave his life of theft behind. He started a small business selling household goods and lived an honest life. His newfound success baffled the townsfolk, who began to spread rumors about how Lucas had become rich overnight. One day, Lucas met a kind and beautiful young woman named Annie. The two quickly fell in love, and Lucas soon asked for her hand in marriage. Over tea one afternoon, Annie confided in Lucas. "There's something I've never told anyone," she said softly. "Years ago, my family lost a bronze lamp, an ancestral heirloom passed down for generations. Ever since it was stolen, our fortunes have dwindled, and we've struggled to make ends meet." Lucas froze, his heart sinking. He remembered the bronze lamp he had stolen years ago and sold to Vernon. "I will do whatever is in my power to find it for you," Lucas promised. "Before our wedding, I'll return the lamp to your family. Certain that the lamp was still in Vernon's warehouse, Lucas devised a plan. Late one night, he snuck into the warehouse and searched through piles of antiques. Hours passed, but finally he found the bronze lamp buried under a pile of dusty relics. Clutching the lamp, Lucas turned to leave, only to hear a voice behind him. "Lucas?" It was Vernon. He had returned to the warehouse for an urgent business matter, and now stood staring at Lucas, heartbreak etched on his face. "You?" Vernon said, his voice trembling. "After everything, you're stealing from me." "Wait, let me explain," Lucas pleaded. "This lamp, it belongs to Annie's family. I was trying to make things right." But Vernon couldn't listen. He had trusted Lucas, and now that trust was shattered. Without another word, Vernon called the authorities. Lucas was arrested on the spot, clutching the lamp that had once symbolized his greed and now symbolized his downfall. And that's the end of our story. The moral of the story is that honesty can change your life for the better, but deceit, even with good intentions, will ultimately lead to ruin. Hope you learned something new. Thanks for watching.